Hello, hello. Oh, you're up here. Hi. Here we go. There we go. Now you're facing down onto the table. There we go. So, hello and welcome to Tracy Creating. I am Tracy, and throughout this video, may you be inspired, learn something new, or simply relax while you're watching. Just pulling that up now. Okay. So now I can see who comes in the chat to say hello and if there are any questions. Awesome. So here we are. You can see here the colours that I've mixed are from Montmartre, and this is Viridian. This is magenta, phthalo blue, and yellow ochre. So I have mixed these paints with my pouring medium mixture, which is 10% of Atelier pouring medium combined together with the Australian Flood Floetrol, so 90% of this, 10% of the Atelier pouring medium, and combine those together. So then that mixture, I will mix at approximately equal parts with the paint and the pouring medium. If I'm doing a thin consistency technique, I will add a little bit of water, but right now I'm finding that that is a lovely consistency for what I want to do. Also, in addition to the colours, I have my spring blend white low sheen acrylic interior house paint. That is a mouthful. It is mixed the same way as the coloured paints, but it is the house paint. So I have that as well, and I'm really nervous about it, but I'm going to use silicone. For so long I've been happy to go without silicone. There's a couple of things pulling me towards silicone these days, so I'm going to go in the phthalo blue, and I'm just going to do one drop because I am anxious about it a little. One in there and one in the magenta. That's it. So I'm not looking for a full blossoming of cells or anything, just some, and I like to thoroughly mix mine in. So hello Celine, how are you going? Hello Mum, hello. Hey Mandy, lovely to see you. How was your day? And the magenta, give it a nice stir. That's just my preference. Some people don't like to stir their silicone a lot. I do. So it comes down to choice. So if you haven't used silicone and would like to try it, have a bit of a play with it, do some sample sizes and see what effect you like the most. And KL Artistic is here. Hello Kerry. So very productive day. Oh, that sounds good. How about yours? My day was less than productive. It was productive, but just didn't feel it. So I know it was though. In my mind, I know it was. Thank you for asking. Alrighty, so set these aside. I am going to use my little legs that I have, which are the caps from paint tubes, and I keep them in a bucket. So they're just the cap tops. I've learnt to leave them bottom up now. So, well, the very top of it, where it pops open, I put down on the surface so that there is minimal surface around the rim of it actually touching the substrate. Just again, one of those preference things that once it's all dried and everything, that I've discovered I prefer it that way. So we will start with, so these are plywood. They're just a little directional, like street sign type arrow. And those up there for when that's dry. They do come with a string. So they are like provided for hanging. So I've just untied that, put it to the side, and can hang them after. You can also hang them below each other. So just have a knot come from the front of this one, come down the back to the front of this one, or however you feel you could join them. And who else have we got in here? We have Doris at DF Designs. How you going, Doris? And alrighty. Where did I get them from? These ones are from Kmart here in Australia. They are called, I kept the sticker, sorry about the noise. It's a plywood arrow plaque. So they are 34 centimeters in length, 9 in width. So that equates to 13.3 inches and 3.5 inches. There we go. Let's see. Did you manage to get any cell canvases from Spotlight? I didn't, Mandy. But that all just came down to not finding exactly what I was looking for. So, but that's okay. I really appreciate that you shared that information and I was able to go and have a look. So did you, Mandy? Did you get many? Okay, so I'm going to put down some white onto this. If the holes fill in with paint, that's fine. I will poke them back through. And it depends too on what I want the final finished product to look like as to whether I varnish it or resin it as a finish. And so because I put the silicone in the magenta, so I created the magenta and the Viridian to go together. So with this one, I'm going to just put some little layers, little lines, squiggles perhaps, spreading this white over the surface. Pushing it to the edges and just over. These actual arrows, I can't say for certain that they're still available, but if you look them up online, you should be able to see, because I have actually had them for a little bit of time, and in one of those hidden stashes that you forget about. Oh dear. All right. There you go. Can't fool you, Doris. Who are you catching up with? That's all right. Where are we going? You got 4 packs. Awesome. Very nice. It's always good when you get a deal on something you really want. So, all right. So now with the Viridian. Viridian is a turquoise to me, like a green turquoise. I think so anyway. I'm just going to create some lines on here because I am going to be swiping it with the magenta. So far these 2 paints, the white and the Viridian, they don't have any silicone in them. It's only the magenta that we put over the top and then drag over the surface of these 2 colours. That will hopefully be enough to give us some beautiful cells with the combination of the colours that's underneath. For those of you in the USA, you can find these kinds of boards at the Dollar Tree. Some have glitter, you can sand it off. Thank you, Doris, that's very helpful. So now with the magenta. So I think I'd like to go in either direction. And I do really seem to love center swipes. So pop that in there. Use such a tiny amount of color as the swipe color. So let's bring you down a little bit closer. And so we're just going to go approximately the middle and just rest. This is an old business card. So just rest it into the surface and lightly drag it over the top all the way to the end. Did miss a little bit there, so I'll just see if I can get that. Nice. So we're wiping it off on the plastic below, just so that when I come back up to do this section, I'm not transferring a bunch of the white into the magenta. So just overlap this edge a little. Again, gently pulling it along. All right. So because we did end up with that extra bit of width, or that extra center line, I will go over that, as I will this section at the edge right here. But I will do that with a narrower piece. So I don't want to take another whole big card and drag it through. So I'll grab another one and cut it in half. So we've got 2. Okay, so I'll just use one of these littler pieces to go through the center there. There we go. That's pretty. Now let's see how we go on the other side, which I know that I'm better off going towards the right. So I will actually turn this around so that I can maintain that same direction of pulling across the paint. Hello, Sharon. How you going? Lovely to have you in here. Alright. And you just sit that again into that magenta and gently come across, wipe it off. See if I can overlap that just a little bit more than I did last time. Gentle, beautiful. There we go. Beautiful colours, thank you, Sharon. So now we'll just do this bit last. There we go. Let's try and bring this bit over the side. That is pretty cool. I'm happy with that. It's not even with any torching, but you can see there's a whole bunch of cells. Some not as pretty as others. Oh, this camera arm's driving me bonkers. But I do feel like I want to have a play, so I will put that aside and we'll do the phthalo blue and yellow ochre before we have a bit of a play. So we'll let that settle. Just spread those out a bit more. Move them up. And come in with our next one. I will need to try and clear up some of this paint. Oh, that is a beautiful colour. Viridian, mixing with the white. It gives it such a brighter, lighter green turquoise. Okay. So with this one, I wanted to go with phthalo blue. Doesn't help if you can see them. And yellow ochre. So I'll start with maybe not so much of the white down as I did last time. We'll see. It's probably about the same amount, so never mind. Coming over. There we go, that looks all covered. Some on the side there. Alrighty. Good, awesome, lovely to hear that. And it's pretty, looks like Christmas. Sweet. Maybe that's one I can put a Christmas saying onto. And fireworks. Like all coming together in some type of celebration with that. That's a good thought. All right. So with this one we did the same. The silicone, 1 drop of silicone into this phthalo blue. So we're going to use the yellow ochre to do squiggles. So this time around, I'm thinking we won't do exactly the same, but we may just do a paper towel swipe across the entire thing. So just one big swipe. And let's see about going left to right still. Okay. So I'll get some paper towel ready. I don't have a spritzer with water in it handy, but what I will do is, can you see me at the side here? Where's my water? Just use, I have this little water sitting off to the side. So, I will just run along the bottom edge in line with just enough to cover the substrate, and you add some water so that the paper towel doesn't soak up all the paint. It's already wet with moisture, and that was generally way more water than I would use, but that happens sometimes. So just letting it soak up the paper towel. You can see there the section that's wet in the middle. And so we'll add some phthalo blue to the top section. And a bit of a squiggle down there, just in case it starts fading out before we get to that point. And then we will have a nice blend. Okay. Just move that out of the way for the moment, because what you want to make sure is when you're pulling, you want to make sure that there's nothing as you get down here that's going to stop the smooth pulling process. Okay. So I have rolled the dry edge over. The wet edge will come down, lightly sit into that blue, and then gently across the top. Might give it a little bit of a jiggle, not a lot. You can see there is a hint of green coming through from those colours, but hopefully more about the blue and the yellow ochre. Just want to run across this edge, bring it off the edge. And just tapping it into the side, pulling it off the edge. And a little bit down the bottom here. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. Hi, Serene. How are you going? Thanks so much for coming in. I actually don't like how the colour has not much here, but there's a lot going on down here. So I'm actually going to use the paper towel again. To swipe backwards. So just as I had it laying down. Oh, that lightened it up a lot, which I prefer because I want to put something onto it. So if it's too dark, that won't stand out very well. So gorgeous. Thank you, Doris. All right. For this one, let's just give it a little bit of warmth. No, I won't use that. It's really late at night, so I'll just use the chef's torch. So this is refillable with gas. I got this at a specific kitchen store. I always say specific, I mean specialized kitchen store. Run it over the other one as well. Okay, so I really don't like that random bloom there, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to move this aside. We will bring back, I can wipe my fingers, this one. Do you have anything on the paper towel? When I first swiped it, I did have some water on it, so it was already dampened or wet. And when I swiped it back this way, I just used the same area that I previously swiped with, so there was already some paint on there as well as that bit of moisture from the water. So let's go with this. Right, so this is just a paintbrush that I love to use the end of. And beautiful, thank you. Yes, that looks good, awesome. Oh, that's pretty, thank you guys. You're awesome. So I think with this one, I just like to add some squiggles. And I think what we'll get from that is seeing some of those colours come out from behind the other. Looks pretty cool. I'm happy with how that's going, so I'll repeat something similar on the other side. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but almost will be great. Where am I going? And go out this way. And then a little one. I do like the effects of dragging it through cells. So that's pretty cool. Happy with that right there as it is. A little bit different. Can use the center as a highlight for whatever I want to put on top of it. Awesome. That was fun. So put that back up, and then after this one we'll come down and we'll do a close-up on both of them. So yeah, I'm not liking these big blobby ones. So I'm going to try and use a bit of a mix from the table here, right at the bottom of the screen. So I've already got some blue on my stick, and just break them up. So now that I started from this side first, I'm going to start from this side first now. And then here again. Yeah, great idea. Awesome. Pretty cool. Thank you. So Sharon, what would be the best way to get in touch with you? I'm really enjoying these lines. I'm actually trying not to, I want each line to have movement of its own, but also trying not to cross previous lines. You like that? Awesome. And this one in through the middle there. Alright, so I just want to interrupt this one a bit more. And possibly to go through that one. There we go. I think that's pretty cool. So they're both different, but they both started with swipes to make moving it a little bit easier. I'll grab out some more tube caps. Sometimes they get really messy and I'll sit here and chill out and pick the paint or resin right off of them. It's very relaxing. So, looks kind of underwater like. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Alright. Just turning that around. There we go. So those are our results of the night. Preparing some plywood arrow signs. I thought swipes would be great to create that background. So there we go. I love the effects in both. Awesome. Thank you, Doris. So let's come down. We'll do a close-up. So if you've got, and then we'll sign off. So if you've got any more questions, please pop it into the chat box now. And hopefully with any lag or delays or anything, I'll be able to see it before we sign off. So we'll start with the first one. So this is the Viridian and the magenta. I actually don't mind that enormous round one that's popped up in there. That's pretty cool. I like the swirls. I love the movement they get when they cross through cells. So sometimes it looks like heart shapes, sometimes it looks like raindrops or dew. And down to this one. So you can see some cells in amongst the blue lines. That's because that was the colour that had silicone in it as well. You can see up here. That looks awesome. So there we go. We'll go along this one. I've inspired you to get some Viridian. Awesome. Viridian is beautiful. There we go. So once they're dry, I'll look at them and work out what kind of saying or image or message would I put onto these ones. And yeah, before we get any further into it. So there we go. After close-ups, I would also like to say, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up. And leave a comment for those watching the replay. And for those watching and saying hello in the chat, I appreciate you. And yeah, it's been lovely chatting with you during the live. And if you know anyone who would also appreciate this kind of video, please share it with them. That's a fabulous way to help and support us artists and creators. So there we go. All right, I can't see any new questions. So hopefully that's it for everyone. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. These are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. So if you have to go anywhere, please take care. It is important because you are important. So from myself always, be kind, be creative, and be fabulous. Bye.